Hare Krishna, everyone. I welcome you all on the World Mental Health Day. And I find myself very fortunate being an Ayurveda doctor on the occasion of a World Mental Health Day. I have become instrument to give you the knowledge for keeping a normal mental health. So I'll be sharing the screen. So, prevention of a psychological disorders. Why this topic I have chosen? Because, anyways, it was Mental Health Day, but the psychological factor is very, very important. Nowadays, it has become very, very important. So, and Ayurveda has given tremendous depth. The knowledge, it's too much depth. So I think 1 hour will be short for us to discuss all these things, but still I'll be giving you reference. If you want to go more deeper and if you want to learn the things, you can read some Ayurveda scriptures. I'll give you references so that you can go more in depth. So why this psychological factor is important? Because nowadays, most of the people, they have forgotten the dinacharya. Dinacharya means daily regimen. In Ayurveda, it is mentioned that what time one should get up, what time one should eat, what time one should sleep, what are the food items to be taken in daytime, what are the food items to be avoided in the night, everything, what are the timings of the exercises, when to do exercise, everything in detail is explained, but no one is bothered about that now. And that knowledge is not there. So that's why people, they behave as per their, whatever their mind says or whatever knowledge they gather from Google and all those. So that's why the dinacharya, that daily regimen, has become formality. Now people have started living a more self-centered life, right? Everything is related with profit and loss. There are no good relationships has remained, like selfless relationships. And along with that, there is a contribution of other factors like kama, krodha, lobha, bhaya. So anger, lust, greed, because of the internet, all these things are again contributing to the psychological disorders. So you can see, because of all these factors, there is a silent unrest. If you observe or if you see the data, statistics, then you will be find that 1 person in a 3 will be psychologically upset. So that's why this psychological factor is very important. I'm going to explain you how you can prevent. So before that, we have to understand what is mind and all those things. So we will go in brief all those things, and then later we'll see what Ayurveda says about it. So see, psychological disorders and Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is a very old science, and many years back, it has given the importance of the mind. You might have heard word psychosomatic. So psycho or psyche, that is the term related with the mind, and soma, that is body. So you can understand, when mind is not good, that will affect the body, and when body is not good, that will affect the mind. So they have an interdependent relationship with each other. So that's why we have to focus on the mind, but how mind gets affected, for that we have to focus on body also. So that's why both the terms are very important. So Ayurveda explains definition of health. Samadosha samagnischa samadhatu malakriya prasanna atmendriyamana swastha iti abhidhyate. This is the definition of the health as per Ayurveda. So let's see what is the meaning of this. Samadosha, that means the one whose bodily doshas, vata, pitta, kapha, they are in balance. Sama agni, the appetite or digestive fire is good. Samadhatu, that means all the tissues of the body are in balance. Malakriya, sama malakriya, that means natural urges are functioning very well. Then second line they say, prasanna atmendriya mana swastha iti abhidhyate. So all those previous terms like a samadosha, samagni, all those, they relate to the physical health. But prasanna atmendriya mana, when your all these factors are good, along with that, if your atma, your senses and your mind, if they are having blissful feeling, then that is called as a swastha. So if you are not feeling, you are not having a blissful feeling, that means you are not healthy as per Ayurveda. So understanding mind. So you can see in the picture, it's like it's very difficult to understand mind in depth. It's very critical thing, complex thing to understand, because mind is not visible, right? You cannot see mind. So Acharya Charaka says that the entity which is responsible for thinking is known as manas. So inside us there is one entity which is responsible for thinking, which makes us to think, is mind. So we can understand or we can see mind as per its actions, right? Because we cannot see mind. So what are the actions of the mind? Indriya abhigraha, sensory and motor perceptions and control. Then swasya nigraha, self-control. Uha, that means speculation. Vicharya, thinking. That means whenever any we have to take any decision, we keep on thinking whether it is good or not good, whether the things to be done or not done, all those things, that is done by mind. So actually mind is beyond the sensory perception, but it is called as ubhayatmaka because it is connected with the sensory centers, that is Gyanendriya, and motor centers, that is Karmendriya. So it is connected with the both. Okay, so Ayurveda postulates the fundamental theory that mental faculty, that is manas or mind, and buddhi, that means intellect, is one of the four components of the life. Mind should be working with the alignment of the intellect, actually, when it is working properly. But when intellect is not functioning well, then mind takes over and works as it. So we get carried away with the mind. And you know why mind is so much importance, why it is given so much importance? Because it is the inherent companion of the individual along with the consciousness. So that means from birth or from fertilization, time of fertilization till final departure. And after that also, mind will be there along with the soul. That's why mind should not be neglected. So how this mind functions? It is very active. In the scriptures, the mind has given the given as an example of a monkey, because it is very dynamic and very active, and it is driven by stimuli, either external stimuli or internal stimuli, or the orders received from the consciousness or the soul. It has two qualities, anutva and ekatva. Atomic is very minute in size, and ekatva is oneness in the operation. So it means that the size is very small and it performs only one task in a given time. But it looks like as if it is functioning as a multitasking. But you have to remember this, only it performs only one task at a given time. Where mind is located, scriptures say that it is located in the heart, because heart is considered, in Ayurveda, heart is considered as an abode of a consciousness. And even though it is located in the heart, but it has an all pervading influence throughout the body and beyond. Because if you, for example, if you are getting any pain in the body anywhere, your mind goes there continuously, because it has that pervading influence throughout the body. Mind again operates in two planes, chitta, that is cognitive mind, and decisive mind, which works along with the intelligence. So actual functions which are scriptures, our Acharya Charaka has explained, is chintya, vicharya, uyya, dheya, sankalpa, and adhyavasaya. What is the meaning of all these things? Thinking, discrimination, guessing, aiming, determination, and differentiation. So whenever you are taking any decision or anything, then you keep on thinking, right? Whether it is good or it is not good. If you have some goal, then you guess what are the things are good. You aim for that, you have some determination for that, and you can differentiate it from other goals, right? So these are the main functions of the mind. Along with that mind, it plays other functionings also, di, dhriti, and smriti. All of you know that di, that means intellect, which has a power of a quick grasping and discrimination. Dhriti means holding, retention power, and smriti is a recollection, that means memory. Why I'm giving all this, explaining all these functions? Because you have to bring mind certain level. You have to elevate your mind at certain level. then only it will help you to keep good memory, or whatever psychological disorders happen. They attack on the memory, they attack on the intelligence. So if your mind is at certain level, then definitely your memory will be good, your intellect will be good, and your power of retention of the knowledge also will be good. So during the journey of life, mind functions due to its three gunas, you can say three qualities. What are three gunas? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. In Bhagavad Gita also, there are these qualities are explained: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, all this. Then Sattvic, Rajasic foods are also explained. So we have to understand what is this Sattva quality of mind, what is a Raja guna of the mind, and what is this Tamasic quality of the mind. So Sattva guna is responsible for harmonious functioning of the Rajas and Tamas. See, basically Sattva is the main quality of the mind, and Rajas and Tamas, these are the doshas of the mind. But these two are also needed for the proper functioning of the body. So Sattva, if Sattva is at a prominent level, then it will be responsible for the harmonious functioning of a Rajas and Tamas. And when one is in a Sattva guna, then that person will be positive, the mind will be functioning in a right way. Then causes of a psychological disorder with relation to the body. See, basically, because I have explained that mind and body are connected with each other, they are interdependent. So definitely mind will influence body, and even diseases also will influence the mind. So therefore, it is mentioned that if a sattva quality or a mode of goodness is there, or if a mind is at that level, then Sattvavan Sahate Sarvam. The person who is rich in a Sattva guna never becomes victim of a stress factor, or doesn't get affected by stress or all those kind of things, or even physical illness also. And if one is at a Rajasic or Tamasic level, mode of passion and mode of ignorance level, then these people are highly prone for Ragadi Manasik Dosha. That means Rag, that is Kam, Krodh, Lobh, other things, attachments and all those things. And Jwaradi Sharirik Dosha, that means fever or any kind of infection that will come when your mind is at a Rajasic or Tamasic level. So Sattva is the mode of goodness, being the purer than others. It is illuminating and full of well-being. So Krishna says, "Oh, sinless one, it binds the soul by creating attachment for a sense of happiness and knowledge." So you can see in the pictures, these are the pictures of one in a mode of goodness. When you see these pictures, you also get a calm feeling, right? You get a good peaceful feeling, because you can see a mother loving the child, someone doing prayer, someone having healthy food, natural food, then someone is doing some donation. That is a mode of goodness. But Rajas, that is mode of passion, is it is dynamic and active in function. Okay, so Krishna explains that this arises from worldly desires, material desires and affections, and it also binds the soul through attachments to the fruitive actions. Then mode of passion. So mode of passion is, you can see in the picture, person with moving along with the clock, then a person who is more passionate for the money, a person who is more addicted, all those things will come in mode of passion. Then comes tamas. The tamas is a born of ignorance or illusion. So it will come those who are having qualities like negligence, laziness, and sleep. Okay, so this is tamas. You can see in the picture, tamasic bhojan, or the person who is fighting or taking drugs or alcoholic, all those kind of things will come in mode of ignorance. So gunas, and why I'm explaining all these gunas, because they also represent some doshas on the physical level. So which guna represents which dosha? So sattva guna is with the pitta, tamo guna is representing kapha, and rajoguna is representing vayu. So whenever pitta levels are at a normal level, that will reflect the sattva guna. When kapha levels are, if kapha levels are too much increased, then that will reflect more tamo guna. And if vayu Vata dosha increases more, that will get more Rajoguna. So connection of a sattva and shariram. I just want to give few examples. Like for example, someone is who is continuously thinking, worry or fear or shoka in a depression, then that will cause the accumulation of a vata dosha. Someone who is very angry, that will increase the pitta. So it is mentioned that krodhat pittam. When someone is angry, the pitta will increase. And someone is who is like very lazy, keeps on sleeping, that will lead to kapha vritti. And vice versa also happens. If someone takes excessive intake of alcohol, then that will cause rajodosha vritti. And someone eats abhishandakara, like someone eats the wrong food or incompatible food, then that will improve, that will promote the tama guna. So what we have to learn is, for good mental health, we need all the three gunas in a balance. And also all the three doshas, that is vata, pitta, kapha, should also be balanced. When three doshas are balanced, that will lead to physical health. And when three gunas are balanced, that will lead to good mental health. So how this manas roga happen? Like why these mental disorders happen? So it is mentioned in the scripture that those who are alpa sattva, that means those who are having weak mind, they are prone for the psychological disorders. Along with that, if when mind will become weak, when rajo and tamaguna will influence it more. When mind becomes strong, when sattva guna will influence more. So you can see the causes of the mental disorders is consistently emotional disturbances. Then volitional transgression, that means voluntarily breaking the rules or the boundaries. Then unwholesome food, that is incompatible food. So on incompatible food, already in one of the seminar I have given the class, you will get to know details about the incompatible food. So all these things in general causes mental disorders or the psychological disorders. The major dosha for causing psychological disorders is a vata dosha. So when vata dosha increases too much or it becomes imbalanced, then it will depress mind, it will give rise to fear, grief, stupefaction, feeling of helplessness, delirium, all those things will come, will start coming. And then when these things start, and when they remain constantly, if you don't change your lifestyle, if you don't take some counseling and all those things, then definitely it will turn into psychological disorders. So Ayurveda focuses on three factors, because as we have seen that we have the harmonious state of both physical and mental functions, right? So for that you need to have a proper lifestyle. So Ayurveda emphasis on these three factors, lot of emphasis will be there. So ahara, that means food and drink. What the food you are eating, what are the drinks which you are taking. Vihara means what are the practices you are having or the habits you are having, or in which people you are associating, in which people you are having a company. That will also affect your mental health and also physical health. Then vichara, that means what kind of a thoughts you are having. Are you always on a negative version, or are you always on the positive side? So all those things also will affect your mental health. So we have to balance both the things, mental also and physical also. Then only our mental health will remain good. So because ahara has given a lot of emphasis, we have to see in detail what are the ahara or food and drinks are included in a sattvic mode. Then vihara, that means what are the practices, and then what are the thoughts. So Ayurveda says that tan mana bunjit. That means you should eat your food with rapt attention. You should feel the taste. We say, focus when you are eating the food. Focus on the food. Focus on the taste or the qualities, and feel the taste. Then when you are having good sattvic food, then that sattvic food will improve your sattva. So ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhi. Sattva shuddhau dhruva smriti. Smriti lavve sarva granthina vipra moksha. That means when your food is pure, then your sattva will become pure. When your sattva will become pure, then your determination and your memory will improve. When you get good memory, then automatically the knots for your higher destination will break down. So that means your sattva should be proper, and for that you need good food. So what are the foods which will improve your sattva or which will prevent you from having psychological disorders, or it will keep you calm down, it will not make you more irritated, or it will not put your body in more body and mind in more stress? Let's see few examples. First one comes is a milk. So make sure you should get A2 milk, good milk, and try to drink milk. Then ghee, cow ghee, then grapes, then jackfruit, then Brahmi is one of the herb. Then Vastuka. Vastuka is a kind of a vegetable, a green leafy vegetable. It's also called as a batua. Then Kakamachi is also a vegetable. Then ashgard. Include ashgard more in your food. Wood apple. Now kapitha or wood apple is you cannot see much, but otherwise previously when I still remember when I was a child, there were lots of trees of this wood apple, which is very good for mental health. And then matulunga, that means the lemon. So all these all these food items, if you add to your diet, then definitely your mental health will be good. Proper lifestyle is also, it's not just food, but there are three pillars of a good health. Actually in Ayurveda it is mentioned: ahara, nidra, and brahmacharya. So ahara, that means food. Then nidra, that means sleep. So you should go to sleep early. That means 3 hours or 1 prahara after the sunset. So that means overall, if you see in Indian time, it should be 10 o'clock. And then get up by Brahma Muhurta. That means 1.5 hours before sunrise or early in the morning. So you should not go to bed very late and should get up early in the morning. That will also create a harmony in your body, mind, and that will give you a good sattva or a good quality mental aspect. Then you have to see whether in your life the things which you are doing, whether you are doing ati yoga or hina yoga or mithya yoga. Ati yoga means excessive usage of the sense or the sense organs or the actions or seasonal things. Or hina yoga means underutilization, and mithya yoga means misuse. We will see all these things in detail. So ati yoga, that means overindulgence of the sense organs. That means listening to the loud music, staring screen for longer time. That means you are using your eyes for a longer period, and then excessive eating. These are a few examples. So make sure you don't do all these things because they are also going to harm your mind. Then hina yoga, that means underutilization. So living in a low lit area for a longer period or living in a dark area, then taking very less food. That means like you are starving your body. That comes under hina yoga. And then mithya yoga. Mithya yoga means wrong indulgence of the sense organs. So that means, for example, eating junk food is you are given the time for eating normal and good sattvic food to elevate your mind and body, but you are eating wrong food. Then seeing horrible movies. Okay, so that will also create fear in your mind, and that may lead to, in future, that may lead to psychological problems. So imbalance of all these physical and mental functional entities leads to onset of. So they will onset the somatic, psychosomatic, and psychiatric disorders. So it could be physical issue, it could be physical and mental both, and it could be only mental issue. And there are certain things about the urges, natural urges. So for this also in detail, almost 1 hour class I have given in previous session. But in short, we are going to see why one should, which are the urges we should hold and which are the urges one should not hold. So there are certain physical urges, like for example, hunger, thirst, sleep, defecation, urination, sneezing, which one should not hold at all. Even though whatever emergency you have, you should not hold these urges. And there are certain mental urges, like kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. That means unnecessary desires, anger, excessive greed, attachment, ego, jealousy, which one should hold or one should use in a proper direction. So that will give you mental harmony. So what we do in general, I have seen what we do whenever we are in meetings and where we are doing some work and all those things, we hold our urine, we hold our stools, And what we do whenever we are angry, we don't hold it, we just blast on the other people, right? So we are doing the other way. That's why we are more prone for the psychological disorders. So make sure which are things to be hold and which are the things should not be hold. So whenever one tries to control the manasik vegas or tries to give them a proper direction, then your mental health will be good. Otherwise, you will get gradually, you will lead to the serious mental disorders like unmada, that is hysteria, vishada, that is depression, which is very commonly found nowadays, and bhaya, that means anxiety. So prevention. How to hold these urges and how you can prevent. So kama and lobha, if you are getting succumbed to all these unnecessary desires or the lusty desires, all those, then one should know strength and limitations. So holding also, there should be some techniques. Within one's limitation, within one's strength, you have to understand, and then as per that, you have to hold. And follow certain lifestyles, because if you follow the lifestyles which are recommended for vata dosha, then definitely all these factors also will come down. Like for example, doing oil massages, eating warm food or a timely food, and there are certain panchakarma treatments like doing vasti, which will control the vata dosha and indirectly help you to control your mental urges also. Then if someone is suffering from like more krodha, anger, mada, matsarya, irsha or jealousy, all those kind of things, then one should follow the breathing regulation techniques and practice meditation. And other thing, physically or from Ayurveda point of view, what you have to do is you have to follow the regimen for the pitta, treatment of the pitta. So eating and sleeping on time is very important for pitta controlling. Then avoid pungent, spicy, oily food. There is a panchakarma therapy called as Vireshanam. Whenever seasonal therapies are mentioned or recommended, like now October month is going on, where the heat or the pitta increases in the body and outside also, heat increases. So the seasonal detox which is mentioned is Vireshanam. So whoever possible, if you have nearby any Panchakarma center, you should go for Vireshanam treatment and detox your body. You can feel the difference when you detox your body, your mind also becomes in harmony. Then prevention of moha. If someone is suffering from moha, attraction for wrong things, then for such a person, the treatment recommended is kapha treatments. Like avoid day sleep. One should do physical activities, and one should eat simple and easily digestible food. And the treatment, which is seasonal treatment, which is mentioned, is a vamana. Okay, so vamana is induced vomiting. So if you do that treatment, then definitely all mental aspects also will come down. So our main objective is to correct the balance of a sattva, rajas, and tamas. So proper lifestyle, bio-cleansing, and detoxification therapies definitely help on a mental platform also. There are certain herbs also which you can include in a day-to-day lifestyle. Are certain herbs which you can take guidance from Ayurveda doctor nearby you and start taking those. They help to regulate, and then it balance and it rejuvenates the functions of the mind, and also it helps brain also. What are those herbs? The herbs like Brahmi, Mandukparni, Shankapushpi, Jatamansi, Sarpagandha, Vacha, Agaru, saffron, Ashwagandha, Kava, or Ziziphus jujube. So these are the herbs which you can, with the guidance of your Ayurveda practitioner or Ayurveda doctor, you can start taking if you are feeling a lot of anxiety or depression or initial phases of the or initial symptoms of the psychological disorders. Summing up, actually, Vagbhata explains that one who introspects daily, whenever before going to bed, one introspects what are the things which I have done wrong, how I can correct them. Such a people remain free from grief and they enjoy the perennial happiness. Then counseling, spiritual counseling or spiritual discourses help to bring mind at a higher level. Then separation of a manasik vegas. Prevention with Sadhvrit Acharan. Sadhvrit Acharan is one of the main or very broad aspect actually. We will see few points in a uh, fast forward track, so that you will get an idea what is Sadhrut Acharan. So basically, Sadhrut Acharan means certain codes which you have to follow, like one who speaks truth, one who refrains oneself from indulgence of alcohol and meat because they come under tamasic quality. Then one doesn't hurt someone, avoids overstraining, fairly spoken, always compassionate to other entities, eats wholesome food, will enjoy the benefits of the sound mental health. This is mentioned in the scriptures. Then a certain treatments, if you are feeling a lot of anxiety, if you are feeling depression, if you are getting irritated more frequently, that means there is some mental imbalances there. So you should go for certain treatments also, like Shiro Abhyanga, Shiro Pichu, Shiro Vasti, and Shirodhara. And believe me, whenever these people they are doing all these treatments, they feel such a calmness, they feel inner strength. So actually, Ayurveda recommends that you understand the status of three gunas and maintain their harmony. Di Dairya Atma Di Vijnanam Mano Doshau Shadam Param. So even though if you are not able to do other things, at least you should do at least these three things you should do. Di, that means get the knowledge. Dairya, keep courage. And Atma Di Vijnanam, that means start doing some spiritual practices, so that you will overcome the mental disorders and you will maintain the mano dosha param. That means that is the medicine, that is the highest medicine for the good mental health. So how to prevent in overall Ayurveda point of view is try to follow daily regimen, try to follow seasonal regimen. So daily regimen, if anyone wants to know in detail, we have already given seminars. Then for seasonal regimen also, we have already given many seminars, so you will get those recorded sessions. Then Sadhrut Acharan. Sadhrut Acharan means codes. Sad means good and Vritta means to conduct. So in a daily basis, what are the things or what are the good things which one should behave or one should inculcate the habits. Then try to follow the prevention, having proper lifestyle so that you can prevent the diseases. And then there are certain rules also for eating food and all. That also I have given one session in incompatible food. So you will get what are the rules pertaining to the food and drinks that is mentioned in the Ayurveda. So in code of conduct, actually Charaka Sutrasthan, Charak Samhita is the main one of the main scripture of the Ayurveda. In the 8th chapter, Indriyopakramaniya Adhyaya, that is the name of the chapter. They have given the types of a sadhrit or codes of the conduct. So I have divided them into 5: Vyavaharika Sadhrutta, Samajika Sadhrutta, Manasika Sadhrutta, Dharmika Sadhrutta, and Sharirika. So like ethical, social, mental, moral, and physical codes. Okay, so we will see fast. If anyone wants to go in detail, they can read that chapter, Charaka Samhita Sutrasthana, 8th chapter. Okay, so Vyavaharik or ethical code of conduct is always speak truth, and always speak something sweet, meaningful, and beneficial to others. These are the things which will keep your mind strong, right? So you have to learn, and you have to teach your kids also because in growing phase, if you teach them, then when they grow young, their mind will be strong. They will not succumb to the mental disorders. Always stop performing physical exercises before getting completely tired. Nowadays people are doing physical exercises 2 hours, they go to the gym, but that is not recommended. So don't overdo the exercises. That also leads to psychological disorders. Then Samajika Satarutta, that means social codes. Be friendly to all living beings, pacify the anger, console those who are frightened, help the poor, be truthful, peaceful, tolerant to others. Don't use harsh words, or those who are using harsh words, be tolerant to others. Always remain in the company of a teachers, elderly persons, successful persons. Okay, so and give them respect, serve them. So they are come under social conduct. And these I'm not saying this is Acharya Charaka is saying 5,000 years ago in Ayurveda, so that your mind remains strong. Manasik Sadhrutta, that means mental codes. One should not indulge in any activity without proper examination. Don't allow sense organs to control you. You have to control them, right? So because of our wrong lifestyle and all, our senses are controlling us, but we are supposed to control them. Don't postpone the things, and don't take quick action without examining it very well. Then codes of regarding partaking food, as I have explained in detail in another session, another video. But like eat food by distributing to other people. Then take food without talking, without laughing, with proper concentration. Curd is good for health, but intake of a curd at night is strictly prohibited. So these are certain few rules. Then Sharirik Sadrutya, that means physical codes of conduct, always wear flowers, apply some sweet perfumes because they are pleasing to mind. So it will strengthen your mind. Always wear some gems and ornament because they adds to prosperity, auspiciousness, longevity, grace, and also is a conductive of the ojas, that means immunity. And follow certain routine like oil massage on the head, ears, nostrils, and feet every day. So at the end, a kind and pure mind. Karunardra mana aushadam sarvajwara vinashanam. Kind and pure mind destroys all the jwaras. That means it destroys physical and mental disorders also. So Acharya Charaka has explained all these things. Thank you. If you have any questions, I think I was very fast because I wanted to finish it fast. It was a vague subject and I wanted to give some time for the question answers. So if you have any questions, you can put them in a chat box. Thank you. So we have 15 minutes. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them. Yeah, there is a question from Muskan. So how to always follow eat food after distribution? See, it is difficult to follow this code of conduct actually, but there is another way to do it. So if you are not able to do it every day, you can do donations related with the food. That will also give you a kind of a peaceful or a kind of a positive feeling to your mind, which will strengthen your mind more. Any remedies in Ayurveda for headache in the core of a head created due to stress and tension? Yes, definitely. There are multiple herbs like Brahmi, Vacha, as I have given the names also. And there are certain treatments also like a Shirodhara, Shiro Abhyangam, Shiro Pichu. All these treatments definitely help in a headache. Or just oil application along with certain internal medications also will help in the headache. There is a question from Hema. Would these things work for menopausal psychological disturbance? Definitely these things, Hemaji, definitely these things work in a menopausal conditions also. I have seen certain ladies who go through menopause, but their sattva is so high, they don't feel any disturbances. So elevate your sattva, try to have certain medicines like ashwagandha or brahmi, which will definitely help in psychological imbalance. See, basically, I used one quote that is Sattvam Sahate Sarvam. When your sattva is at higher level, you can tolerate anything or any psychological disturbances. So definitely, I'm not saying you have to tolerate whatever you are if someone is going through because of the menopause, but definitely there are certain medicines which help, like Brahmi definitely helps, Ashwagandha helps. Then those food items which I have mentioned as a sattvic food, that also can be given. And if the disturbances are too much, then you can see any nearby Ayurveda practitioner and do certain panchakarma treatments, maybe Shirodhara or Shiropichu, Vasti, that also will help. Suryaji is asking question. I'm working in a production so night, how to balance my mind and body and control pitta. Yeah, definitely this is a wrong lifestyle actually. When you work in the night, then you don't get, actually there is from 10 to 12 when you get the sleep, then you get those happy hormones released in the body, and that also helps in improving the mental status. But when you don't get that sleep, then automatically your sattva goes down. So Suryaji, I'll recommend you, if whenever possible, you can do certain panchakarma treatments, like balance your doshas, because when you are awake in the night, then your doshas will become, there will be a lot of imbalances, and on a later phases it might give to the psychological disorders also. So try to do, whenever possible, try to do Virechanam treatment or some Vasti treatment or Shirodhara treatment. Along with that, try to eat proper sattvic food, and try to recover your sleep. So generally in Ayurveda we say that you should not sleep in a daytime, but those who are working in a night shifts, they must recover their sleep, but don't sleep after food, sleep before food. And then try to take certain herbs like ashwagandha or brahmi, which will help to keep you stress free. Mukunji is asking question, any remedies for losing the mind in the middle of work? Definitely, that means there is no focus of mind. Mind is disturbed. That is a sign that vata has gone high, vata has elevated, and which is troubling the mind, and mind is not stable. So definitely, there is a herb called as vacha, which will help. You can add it in your milk, or there is another herb called as ashwagandha that will also help. There are certain medications also which help, like Saraswata Rishtam. They help in focusing, or Saraswata granules. These are certain. You can take the guidance from your nearby Ayurveda practitioner and start taking those medicines. And definitely, along with that, try to do some yoga practices also. So your mind will become more focused. There is a question, how to stop overthinking. Again, overthinking is one of the sign. That means vata has gone up. So you have to make sure you start doing some oil massages, start taking ashwagandha with milk, try to take more milk, cow ghee products. Then try to, if possible, mandukparni is the herb I have shown in the picture when I was showing the herbs. Mandukparni, it looks like a brahmi only. Try to take swarasa or a juice of it, 5 ml in the morning, empty stomach. That will help you to keep you more focused, and you keep yourself targeted. Like you have to counsel also, because it's sometimes it just becomes habit of overthinking. So you have to keep some goals, try to focus on those, so that your mind will be occupied in fulfilling those goals, so that you will not do the overthinking. Will ready-made tablets of ashwagandha and brahmi itself etc help, or should we take the powder form? I'll recommend, if powder form, if you can take, definitely it is more preferable. Actually, it is more recommended. But some patients, we have seen that powder is very difficult for them to drink. It irritates the throat. So in that case, you can take tablet form also. It will be better than to take something than nothing. Definitely that ashwagandha in a tablet form also is going to help. But powder is better form. There is a question. I have fits due to night shifts. Any medicine available in Ayurvedic? How to check with which dosha is there, or what kind of our body is either vata, pitta, kapha. So I'll recommend there in few days only there will be one session where one of our doctor will be explaining about the Prakriti analysis. In that you will be able to understand what is your body type, which is your body type, whether it's vata or pitta or kapha or combination. Okay, so you attend that session. And then second thing is you have fits due to night shifts. So again, fits, we have to check whether it's because of genetic. If genetic history is there, you have to take guidance from the doctor and start some medications. If it is not there, it's only because of the night shifts, then vata has gone up. So you have to go to a Ayurveda practitioner and take a proper treatment. There are good treatments which help to reduce the fits. Multiple treatments, like certain internal medicines are also available, and some therapies are also available. It requires little longer duration, maybe 3 months or maybe more than that also. You have to take the medicines and some treatments also, but it definitely helps. How many hours of sleep does a person require? Does it differ from person to person? Yes, definitely it differs from person to person. For example, Vata person will get less sleep and it will be disturbed. Kapha person will get more sleep and it will be very deep. Pitta person will get moderate sleep. So you have to check which dosha you are. You have to see your prakriti, which prakriti you are. If you are Vata prakriti, then definitely your sleep will be less. But make sure you start something or do some oil massages so that sleep will get covered. Minimum 6 to 7 hours. Minimum 6 hours sleep is needed for a Pitta person, and 7 to 8 hours sleep is needed for the Kapha and Vata person. There is a question how to become emotionally strong. Any help for overcoming anxiety and fear? Yes, you can become emotionally strong by keeping your lifestyle proper, by keeping your mind more focused, and taking certain herbs, like taking the support of certain herbs, like for example, Saraswatarishtam or Ashwagandha or Vacha, or you check with your nearby Ayurveda practitioner, which is your Prakriti. As per that, that doctor can help you and keep yourself focused. Mentally, if you want to become mentally strong, first keep your body fit. Physically also you should be fit. If you are physically fit, then keep some goals, keep some positive affirmations every day. Start doing some diary so that you write some positive points which has happened in a day, and keep on thinking on those positive thoughts. So and keep counting your blessings, which will make you emotionally more strong. When you focus on more negative things, then you become emotionally weak. And anxiety and fear also, because of the insecurity, you develop this kind of things. So when you are occupied, your mind is occupied with positive things, anxiety and fear will come down. How to control high vata? I have extremely dry and cracked skin on my heels due to this. Okay, so vata, that means the quality of vata itself is a dry. So for these conditions, I'll recommend you can have some food items which are more sweet in taste. Sweet doesn't mean sugar, but nourishing food, like for example, cow milk or cow ghee, all those kind of things, or sweet fruits you can include. Make sure you don't eat anything cold. Try to eat something which is always warm. Warm food should be there, and it should not be dry food. The food also should be watery. And externally, you can apply certain medicated ointments or creams which will help to reduce the cracked heels. And I'll recommend those who are vata dominant person, for them everyday oil massage or oil application, self oil application is very much essential. Manjishta help vata. Manjishta is not a herb which works on a vata. Actually, Manjishta is a blood purifier. So Manjishta basically works on a pitta dosha. It reduces pitta. But indirectly, when pitta is imbalanced due to vata imbalance, because they are all connected with each other, indirectly it may help to vata, but it is not. It doesn't work exactly on vata. It works on a pitta dosha. There is a question how to become emotionally strong. I think I have answered this. If someone gets too emotional, what dosha is there? Okay, so basically, in practice, we have seen those who are more either vata people or pitta people. Generally, pitta people are also more focused, but vata people and kapha people are also, they work on a heart level. So you have to see, you can attend that prakriti analysis session. There will be, if you in few days only, one session will be there. You can attend that, and then you will be knowing that which dosha you are dominant. If someone is a vata dosha, because vata dosha is always some irregularity will be there. Vata is always moving, so emotional disturbances will be more in a vata person. So if you get to know that you are vata or pitta, whatever dosha you are dominant, then make sure you start doing some oil massages and then certain herbs which will support to improve the emotional well-being. What about Brahmi Arka? Is it good? Yes, Brahmi Arka is good. You can take it. No problem. A mantra was put on us to achieve some benefit for relatives, mantra to increase krodha, money, earning, take revenge, etc. It made me depressed, but I came out with Maha Mantra, but it makes us want to earn money. However, my wife is sometimes depressed, want lot of material benefits for relatives, mantra. It made me depressed. I came out of it. Sometimes depressed. What can we do? I think in such a cases you need some spiritual counseling. You can see any nearby person. Any you can go to any ISKCON temple. There are. I'm not recommending only ISKCON, but we have seen, because there is a counselor system. There are a lot of counselors which help you out to change the mindset and what are the things to be chanted. Definitely, mantras has effect on a mind. So make sure the mantra which you chant should be a proper mantra. Generally, we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and it gives very good results. Initially, you may feel that you are feeling some emotional disturbances and all those, but be steady, keep some faith and patience. Automatically, you will come out with the positive thoughts. So, but it should be on a regular basis, early in the morning. That definitely helps. But I think in your case, you need some one-to-one counseling, and definitely it will help. Along with that, start taking some herbs like Brahmi or Ashwagandha, which will which will give you mental stability. Please suggest some remedy for eyes due to increased screen time. Yeah, actually, first thing you have to reduce the screen time, but there is a treatment called as Tarpanam, which we do on a regular basis, and it helps to strengthen the eyes. If not possible to do Darpanam, at least Triphala Ghritam is a medicated ghee, which you can get, which you can take orally, or you can put one drop in each eye at bedtime, or you can even start taking Triphala tablets also at bedtime. It will strengthen the eyes. I think it's 7 o'clock. I may not be able to, because there are lots of questions. So you can, if you have any questions or any queries, you can write at ayurveda@ecovillage.org.in, or you can contact with this number. Hopefully, we will be able to answer all your questions and guide you. To keep yourself, guide you to uplift your mental status. Thank you for your enthusiastic participation and patiently hearing. Hare Krishna.